Hey everybody, my name is DJ Townsell, former NFL wide receiver, now international yoga instructor. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat. Today we're just going to do a nice 45-minute flow, do some warming up, take our bodies through a nice flow to get the bodies moving, the blood flowing, then a nice cool down to let the body and the mind rest. So, during this class I'll be offering modifications just in case things are a little too hard or out of reach for you. But make sure you listen to the body, don't do anything that gives you any pain or discomfort, and I'll give you the resting poses if you need them, but just follow along, have fun, keep an open mind. So we're going to start off in our resting pose. So if at any point you feel the need to take a moment to rest, it's going a little too fast for you, this is the pose we look for, is child's pose. So placing the hands out in front of you, widening the knees to the edges of the mat, bringing the big toes together, just sit back into the hips. Take a moment to breathe here. Pressing the hands, the fingertips into the mat, stretching through the arms, the rib cage, allowing the head to relax. I'm just lifting the head so that you can hear me talk. And just take a few deep breaths here. This will be the first pose of our class. And from here we'll go into our warm-up. But just take a deep inhale through the nose. Retain the breath for about half a second, then slow, controlled exhale out of the nose or the mouth. Deep inhale through the nose. Slight retention, then slow, controlled exhale out of the nose or the mouth. This is called an Ujjayi breath. This is the breath we always come back to in yoga. So if at any point you don't hear me mentioning the breath while we're flowing or while we're warming up, this is the breath that you come back to. Always remember this breath. Deep inhale through the nose. And slow, controlled exhale out of the nose or the mouth. And one more time. And exhale. We're going to bring the hands closest to us. And then going to all fours into what we call tabletop position, making sure the back is nice and flat, making sure the wrists, elbows, and shoulders are directly beneath each other, knees beneath the hips, hip width apart. And we're just going to start with a nice cat-cow sequence to warm up the spine, the hips, and the shoulders. So as we inhale, we're going to start with the tailbone, pushing the tailbone up, arching the spine one vertebrae at a time, lifting the crown of the head. And as we exhale, tuck the tailbone in, round the spine, release the crown of the head towards the mat. Pressing the hands into the mat, rounding through the shoulders and the back. Inhale, arching the spine, lifting the crown of the head. This is our cow pose. And exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone in, release the crown of the head. This is our cat pose. So we'll do a few more of these just to warm up the spine, the hips, the shoulders. And exhale, rounding. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Coming back to our tabletop position. We're going to start rotating the hips. So as we inhale, we're going to send the hips back towards the right heel, circling around the heels, and as we exhale, we send the hips forward into a modified plank. So starting to warm up the core as well. Going around as we inhale, circling around the left hip or left heel, exhaling as we come forward to our modified plank. Again, inhale, circle the hips, exhale, modified plank. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's go one more time. Inhale around that right heel, circle around the left. Exhale to that modified plank. Now as we inhale, we're going to circle back the opposite direction around the left heel, circle around the right. Exhale as we come forward to that modified plank. Inhale to the left heel. Exhale as we circle the right heel and come to our modified plank. And a few more of these. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale one more time. Inhale. And exhale. We're gonna come back to that neutral spine position, that tabletop position. Start to warm up the core. We're gonna extend the left arm out in front of us, thumb facing up, and extend the right leg back behind us. Flex the foot so that the toes are facing the mat. And we're just gonna hold this for 3 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Try to create a straight line from your middle finger all the way back to the sole of your foot. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go one more. Inhale. And exhale. Release the left hand down. Release the right knee down. We're going to come over to the other side. Let's find balance on both sides. Extending the right arm out in front. Thumb facing up. Extend the left leg back behind us. Toes facing the mat. Pointing to the mat. Taking 3 strong breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Release the right hand down. Left knee down. We're going to come back to that left side. Inhaling. Extending through the right arm, or the left arm and the right leg. Taking a deep inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And this time as we exhale, we're going to exhale and bring the knee and the elbow together down the middle, making a nice crunch, rounding the spine. Inhale, extend back through that left arm and that right leg. Exhale down the middle. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale and hold for 3, 2, 1. Release the left arm, left hand down, right knee down. Extending the right arm out in front, left leg back behind us, taking 3 strong breaths here. Deep inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale, crunch down the middle. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale and hold for 3, 2, 1. Let's come back to our cat-cow. Inhaling as we arch the spine, lift the crown of the head. We'll go through this 3 times. Exhale to cat pose. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to sit the hips back into our child's pose. Take a moment to breathe. Come back to that breath. Just a slight break before we get further into our warm-up. One more breath here, deep inhale. And nice strong exhale. On our next inhale, pressing the hands into the mat, we're just going to shift the weight forward, lay the body down onto the mat, and just lift the chest into our cobra. And as we exhale, we're going to sit back into child's pose. So those are our 2 poses in this sequence. Inhale, swim the body forward, lie the body down, just lift the chest. And exhale, send the hips back, child's pose. Inhale to cobra. And exhale. Try to make it nice and smooth. Inhale. And exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. From our child's pose, we're going to tuck the toes, send the hips up and back for the most common pose in yoga, downward dog. Now, making sure that the feet are hip width apart. If you need to, you can shorten your stance, maybe bend the knees a little bit. If it's too much weight into the shoulders or too much pressure on the shoulders or the hamstrings, anything that feels tight, you can always shorten your stance a little bit to make it more comfortable for yourself. But just right now, all we're going to do is just pedal the knees back and forth. Loosen up the calves, the Achilles, the heel, the hamstring, the hips. Nice full body warm up right here. You already feel it in the shoulders, in the forearms. Just rocking back and forth. If you want, you can go up onto the toes and then press the heels down towards the mat. Up and down. Still one more time. Up and down. And our next inhale, however you want to get there, just step both feet to the top of the mat. Come to a half lift position. So kind of like that neutral spine position we did on all fours, but now we're standing up. Just try to make that body nice and flat. If you need a good point of reference, just press the hands onto the shins. That should give you about a good placement where your back should be. Making sure you release any tension in the neck. And from there, keeping the knees bent, exhale, forward fold. Just allow the stomach to rest onto the thighs. Let the head fall. And inhale, coming all the way to a standing position, bringing hands to heart center. Just taking a moment to catch your breath as we go into our first real sequence, sun salutation. Coming back to that breath with our deep inhale. Slight retention of the breath. Slow, controlled exhale out of the nose or the mouth. And from there, on our next inhale, we're going to sit back into the hips, bringing the arms over the head into chair pose. And exhale back into our forward fold. Keeping the knees bent, allowing the stomach to rest onto the thighs. Releasing the crown of the head towards the mat. Inhale, half lift, placing the hands onto the shins, pushing the hips back and flattening out the back. And from there, we're going to place the hands down onto the mat, step back into a plank. If you want, you can modify it by dropping the knees down to the mat, pushing the hips forward so that the spine is nice and straight. If you want to go to a full plank, just lifting the knees off the mat, keeping everything engaged. Same rules apply as tabletop position, wrists, elbows, shoulders aligned, squeezing the quads and the glutes, engaging the core. Nice straight line from the base of the neck to the base of the spine. From there, we're going to lower the chest down to the mat, keeping the elbows and triceps close to the body. This is chaturanga. We're going to inhale back to our cobra and tucking the toes, send the hips up and back for downward dog. Big inhale while you step the feet to the top of the mat, coming back to our half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. So that's our sun salutation. We're going to continue that a few times, really get the body warmed up. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to plank. Deep inhale here. Shift the weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga, whether you're doing it from a full plank or a modified. Slowly lower the chest down to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, both feet to the top of the mat, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to chair pose. And then without standing all the way up, we're gonna go right back into our sun salutation. Exhale, back to forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to our plank. Deep inhale here. Exhale, shift forward, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, both feet to the top of the mat, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to plank. We're going to start to extend our sequence a little bit more to get deeper into our stretches. Shift the weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. So we're going to take our right foot, step it to the top of the mat. It may take you a little bit of time if you're not used to stretching this much, but get your foot in between the hands. Again, if it feels uncomfortable, shorten out your steps so that you're not stretching too much through the hip flexors. But that left knee, we're going to drop down to the mat, flatten out that left foot. If you need to, you can place something underneath your knee to cushion it. But we're going to come nice and tall on one knee. We're going to open up this left hip flexor. So as we inhale, we're going to shift the weight forward so that we feel that stretch through the hip flexor. And as we exhale, we're going to send the hips back, lift the toes of the right foot, and sit back into the hips so that we feel that stretch through the right calf and right hamstring. Nice half split warm up. Inhale, send the hips forward. You can raise the arms to the sky. You can keep the hands on the hips, whatever's comfortable. And send the hips back on your exhale. Inhale. And exhale. We'll go 2 more times on this side. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Get some movement going. This time as we inhale, we're going to come back to that sitting tall on the knee. Bring the hands down to the mat to frame that right foot. Tuck the toes of the left foot, lift that left knee, and then step back to our plank. So now our sequence, our sun salutation just continues from there. Shift the weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. In yoga, whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So our inhale will bring our left foot to the top of the mat. Again, shorten your step if you need to. And then just drop that right knee down, flatten that right foot to the mat. And nice and tall. Let's go right into that sequence. Sending the hips forward as we inhale. And sitting back into the hips, lifting the toes of the left foot as we exhale. You can place the hands down if you need to support yourself. You don't have to sit all the way back. If you feel that stretch, that's good enough. Inhale, coming forward. And exhale, sitting back. And our next inhale, we'll come up to a nice sitting tall position. Bring the hands down to the mat. Again, tuck the toes of the right foot. Lift that right knee. Step back to our plank. And shift the weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward dog. So we're going to bring that right foot back to the top of the mat. And instead of being down low on our knee, we're going to come up nice and tall. So we're going to start off in a nice high lunge. Now again, you don't have to be all the way back here to stretch. If this is good for you, that's perfectly fine. You want to make sure that right knee is directly over that right ankle. So you can have the hands on the hips. If you want, you can bring the arms to the sky. Nice high lunge. What's more comfortable for me is being back here. Gives me a better stretch, but follow your body, listen to your body. And we're gonna sit right here. First finding balance and also finding the engagement, making sure that our left leg is engaged, making sure our right knee is directly above or slightly behind our right ankle. And then we're just gonna pivot that left heel down, keeping the upper body facing front to the top of the mat. And now you're gonna really feel that left hip flexor opening. This is warrior one. Now we're gonna open up to warrior two. Right arm out in front, left arm back behind us. Making sure we're keeping everything nice and level. So not letting the arms sink, not bringing the arms too high. Right there, straight across. With each exhale, you might feel yourself opening up a little bit more. That's perfectly fine. But we're gonna open back up into our warrior one. Taking the hands down to the mat, stepping back to our plank, and lowering down through chaturanga. You should know this one by now. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Now we're gonna inhale that left foot to the top of the mat, coming up to a nice high lunge on the opposite side now. Now I want you to feel this out on the other side. Feel the balance on the left side. Feel the engagement through that right leg. Feeling the balance and the engagement through the left leg and the left foot. Making sure that left knee is directly above or slightly behind your left ankle. Nice high crescent lunge. Take a couple breaths here. And pivot that right heel down, keeping the body facing forward, warrior one. And opening up to warrior two. Take 3 breaths here. And back to center with warrior one. Deep inhale. And as we exhale, bring the hands down to the mat, stepping back to our plank. If you want, you can modify it still. Sending the weight forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. So that was our beginner warrior sequence. We'll expand on that a little bit more now. So let's step the right foot to the top of the mat. From there, we're gonna already pivot that left heel down. So we're in warrior one rather than our high lunge. Opening up to warrior two. Now we're gonna flip the right palm up, reach that left arm back down towards the left leg, and then just bring that right arm to the sky. Call this peaceful warrior. And then from there, we're gonna bring the right forearm, rest it onto the right thigh, but still keeping that engaged. Don't just let it go limp. Don't put all your weight down into your arm. Press through it. And then bring the left arm over the top of the head. So now you're stretching through that left rib cage all the way down and through the left foot. This is called side angle. So we'll sequence through these two. Inhale, flow back to our peaceful warrior. And then exhale, flow into our side angle. One more time, inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. And then from our side angle, we're just gonna release both hands to the mat, come off of that left heel, step back to our plank. Deep inhale here, shift forward, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Now stepping the left foot to the top of the mat. Pivot the right heel down, warrior one as we come up. And opening up to warrior two. And from there, pivoting, or not pivoting, sorry, flipping the left palm up, reaching down with the right arm for that right leg, and then bring the left arm to the sky, peaceful warrior. And flowing forward, resting that left arm on the left thigh, bringing the right arm over the top of the head, stretching through that right rib cage, side angle. So let's open up again, peaceful warrior as we inhale. And side angle as we exhale. One more time. One more time. Inhale, peaceful warrior. And exhale, side angle. And then come off of that right heel, hands to the mat, step back to our plank, shift the weight forward, chaturanga, inhale, cobra, exhale, downward dog. We're gonna come back over to that right side for the last time. We're gonna pivot the left heel down, warrior one. Let's go through that flow again, our warrior flow. Warrior two. Flip the right palm up, inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. One more time, inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. And then we're gonna add one more pose. We're going to straighten out our right leg, rest our right arm onto that right leg, or if you can get to the ground, rest the right hand to the ground, and then straighten out that left arm to the sky, triangle pose. And then turn the body to the ground, bend into that right knee so that we can go into our plank safely. Step back to our plank, shift the weight forward, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Stepping the left foot to the top of the mat. One more time. Pivot the right heel down, warrior one. Opening up, warrior two. Flipping the left palm up, peaceful warrior on our inhale. And exhale, side angle. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. One more time. Inhale, peaceful warrior. And exhale, side angle. Adding that triangle in, so straighten out the left leg. Rest that left hand onto the left ankle or the left shin, or if you can, to the ground. And then straighten out that right arm to the sky for our triangle. Rotate back to center, shift the weight into that left knee, turn off of the right heel, step back to plank, deep inhale, exhale, shift forward. Start over again. Deep inhale, exhale, shift forward, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. This time we're gonna go exhale, open the knees, sit back into child's pose. Take a few more breaths here in child's pose. Deep inhale through the nose, come back to our breath. As we start to work into our cool down. Nice strong exhale out of the nose and the mouth. Inhale. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. From our child's pose, we're going to stay in this position. All we're going to do is walk both hands out to the left side of the mat, all the way outside of the mat. So now, you should feel that stretch through the right rib cage. If that's good enough, perfect. If you want to feel a little bit deeper, just shift the weight over to the right in your hips. So almost like you're trying to pull yourself away from your hands. Take nice deep breaths. Remember, don't do any stretches or any poses that feel too uncomfortable for the body. A nice stretch is good, but once it starts to get painful or your body's shaking, you're doing way too much. Back off of it just a little bit. Just a couple more breaths here. And let's walk both hands back down the middle of the mat. And then over to the right, all the way outside of the mat. Again, right here is perfectly fine. If you need a deeper stretch, you can lean away from the hands. Feeling that stretch through the left rib cage, left side body. Continue those deep inhales, nice strong exhales. Couple more breaths here. And walk both hands back down the middle. Let's come up onto all fours in our neutral spine position. Just take a moment to stretch out the wrists. We're going to stay right here, press the hands and fingertips into the mat, and just gently lean the body forward. You'll feel that stretch on the back sides of the wrists. And then just gently sit back. Not all the way back like we're going to child's pose, but just enough to ease any tension out of the wrists. So lean forward, feel that stretch right here through the heel of the hand and the wrist, and then gently come out of it. One more time. Pressing the hands into the mat, and then gently coming out of it. Now to stretch the top sides of the wrist, we're going to flip the palms of the hands up, face the fingers towards each other, towards the middle of the mat, and very gently, even more gently than we just did our last stretch, we're going to simply rock side to side. If just having your hands right here is feeling like a stretch, just keep them there, don't do any rocking. Good. Come off of the hands, maybe roll them out, get some feeling back in the wrists. We're going to just spin around, put the feet to the top of the mat, come to a nice seated position. And then from there, we're going to reach the arms to the sky. And exhale, stretch down towards the feet. Now, for this stretch, for our seated forward fold, you do not have to hold your hand or hold your feet. If you can't get down there, if you can only get the ankles, fine. If you can get the calves, that's fine. If not, you can simply bend the knees and wrap the arms underneath so that the stomach rests on the thighs. That is the goal for this stretch, is for the stomach to rest on the thighs. So however you get there, if the stomach isn't comfortably resting on the thighs and your back is straight, then you're not doing the stretch correctly. So I don't care if you can get to your feet. If you are doing it this way and you're rounded in the spine, it's not correct. Nice gentle stretch, stretching out the entire posterior chain of the body, the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, the spine, the neck. And slowly walk ourselves back up. We're going to go into that stretch again. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, keeping the spine straight. Find your checkpoint. Whether it's the feet, the ankles, the calves, underneath the knees. And again, walk the hands up. We're going to go into that one more time. Inhale, the arms to the sky. And exhale, forward fold. And slowly walk yourself back up. When we come up, we're going to bring the right knee towards us. So first we're going to hug that knee in so that we can correct our posture. Making sure the shoulders are relaxed, spine is nice and straight. Making sure our stomach can rest on the thigh. And then once we go there, we're just going to grab underneath that right knee and just extend that foot out and up. And from there, we're going to bend that knee and then place the right foot on the outside of the left leg. We're going to take the left arm, Cross it over their right knee and then gaze over our right shoulder. Nice spinal twist, also a good sciatic stretch. Slowly bring yourself back to center, guide that foot over and then back out in front, and then bring the left knee into the chest, resting the stomach and the chest on that left thigh, finding your posture, and then guiding underneath that left knee, the foot out and up. Spine straight, shoulders relaxed, neck long. And then bend that knee, place the left foot on the outside of the right leg. Reach over with the right hand, place the left arm behind you, gaze over that left shoulder. Slowly rotate back to center. Guide that left foot over and back out in front. We're gonna inhale the arms to the sky, but instead of going forward, now we're gonna slowly lay ourselves back down onto the mat. Bringing both knees into the chest, hug them in tight, then just gently rock side to side, massaging the spine onto the mat. Hugging the right knee into the chest, release that left leg down towards the ground. Supporting the back of the right knee, extend that foot to the sky. Continuing your breaths. Bend that knee back into the chest, hug it in tight. And then bring that left knee back into the chest to meet it. Rock side to side, massage the spine onto the mat. And hugging the left knee into the chest, release the right leg down to the mat. Supporting the back of the left knee, extend that foot to the sky. Bend the knee back into the chest, hug it in tight. And release that left leg to the ground. Allow the body to lay flat onto the mat. Resting the arms at the side. Sometimes the best recovery for the body is just to let it rest. The same is true for the mind. So if you need a few moments here to just allow the mind and the body to rest without any thoughts, just with breathing, allow yourself to do that. If this is the first bit of peace and quiet you've gotten all day, allow yourself to rest and revel in it. Allow every part of your body to melt into the ground. Allow any thoughts about the past or the future to wash away from the mind. Enjoy this moment you're in. This is the only moment that you have control over. So make the most of it. Before we come up to a seated position, start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. If you need a little bit more time to rest, then just pause the video. Start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, bring life back into the body. Tighten up the quads and release them. Tighten up the glutes and release. Tighten the muscles in the core and release. Rock the head side to side to awaken the spine and the neck. Inhale the arms over the top of the head. And as we exhale, hug the knees into the chest. Bring the head off the mat so that the knees can meet the nose. And rock side to side, massaging the spine onto the mat. And then start to rock back and forth, building momentum until you come up to a seated position at the mat. And if you need more time to meditate or just need some peace and quiet, feel free to do so. Make this time your own. We need to take a moment for ourselves so that we can help out others. A moment of selfishness leads to a lifetime of selflessness. That's what I always tell my students. So if you need a moment to yourself, take it so that you can go out and help others. But I truly appreciate you for joining me, taking a moment for yourself, taking a moment to join me. And hopefully I see you again next time. Thank you for joining me. My name is DJ Townsville. Namaste and one love.